Today we're going to talk about one-step equations using multiplication and division. Our target will be, I can solve one-step equations with multiplication and division. Before we get into that, I just want to review how we solved one-step equations with addition and subtraction. We take a look at the side of the equation that has a variable. Our goal is to get the variable alone by itself on one side of the equation with the number or value on the other side. So on 14 equals x plus 5, we're looking for the inverse or the opposite of positive 5 or plus 5, which is negative 5. Plus 5 minus 5 equals 0, which leaves us x. But if we do something to one side of the equation, we must do it to the other side. So we're going to subtract 5 from 14, and that gives us 9. X equals 9. Our check then is rewriting our equation. We're going to substitute 9 for x, and we end up with 14 equals 9 plus 5. 14 equals 14. So there's a check. Let's take a look at the subtraction. And again, we want to find the side of the equation that has the variable that we are looking to get by itself. So here we have x minus 5, and we want to look for the opposite of minus 5, which is plus 5. And we're going to plus 5 on both sides of the equation, on the equal sign. Plus 5 minus 5 cancels to 0, which leaves us x. 20 plus 5 equals 25. So here we believe x equals 25. We're going to do our check. X minus 5 equals 20. Substituting the 25 for x, we now have 25 minus x equals 20. 25 minus 5 does in fact equal 20. 20 equals 20, and we have our check. As we look to solve one-step equations using multiplication or division, we have to remember that multiplication and division are inverse operations of each other. In fact, they undo each other. So if our variable is being multiplied by a number, in order to get the variable alone, we're going to divide. If the variable is in a division situation, we're going to multiply. We're going to take some time for each of these. I'm going to show you the algebraic first, and then I will do a tape diagram for both multiplication and division, just so you see what's happening for each. So you should be on page 126 in your book. If you need to pause the tape and get there, go ahead and do that, and then we'll begin. Our problem says 3z equals 9. As we take a look at the side of the equation that has the variable, we can see that 3 is multiplying with z. In order to get rid of a multiplication, we need to divide. And we're going to divide by 3 because we know that 3 over 3 equals 1. So we're going to divide this whole side by 3. If we divide the one side of the equation by 3, we have to divide the other side. So 3 over 3 equals 1. We are left with 1z. Now we know that 9 divided by 3 equals 3, which would give us a solution. We're going to do our check. We're going to write 3z equals 9. We're going to substitute the 3 in, but we have to put some kind of multiplication symbol. You can use the dot, you could use parentheses. That's your choice. It equals 9, and we know that 3 times 3 equals 9. 9 equals 9. We have a check. We can also do the division horizontally, if that is something that you would prefer to do. So we would see 3z equals 9. Again, we see 3 is multiplied by z. We know that the opposite of multiplication is division. So we would have 3z, and we would divide it by 3, which would equal 9 divided by 3. Again, just the same idea, except we're doing it horizontally. So times 3 divided by 3 equals 1, which would give us 1z. 9 divided by 3 equals 3. So we come up with the same value for z, and we would do the check the same way. Now let's see what this would look like if we were to solve using a tape diagram. First, we're going to draw two tape diagrams, one for each side of the equation. We're going to draw them the same size because both sides are equal. And we know that one side equals 9. The other side has 3 z's. So it's going to be divided into 3 sections, one for each z. So if we were to think, and here we have 9, what would 1/3 of 9 be? If we had to take the 9 and divide it, split it up into 3 groups, we would see that each group equals 3. So z then would equal 3. Our check, which we always do a check, 3z equals 9. We're going to substitute the 3 for the z using some kind of multiplication symbol, either the dot or parentheses. 3 times 3 equals 9, 9 equals 9, and we've checked. Now let's take a look at an example involving division. Our problem says to solve y divided by 4 equals 2 using the tape diagram and algebraically, then we're going to check our answers. I'm going to show it to you algebraically first, and then we'll do the tape diagram. So we find that we have y divided by 4 equals 2. We know that the inverse or the opposite of division is multiplication. If we're dividing by 4 here, now we want to multiply by 4. And if we multiply the left side by 4, we're multiplying the right side by 4. 4 over 4 equals 1, which leaves us 1y. 2 times 4 equals 8. So we believe that y equals 8, but we're going to do our check. Y over 4 equals 2. 8 over 4 equals 2. 8 divided by 4, 2 equals 2. And we found our check. If we were to take a look at this particular problem and do it horizontally, we would be writing y divided by 4 equals 2. So then we would use the inverse of division, which is multiplication. So we would say y divided by 4 times 4. And again, using the parentheses or the dot. And again, we would multiply the other side by 4, both of them having 4. Divided by 4 times 4 leaves us with a value of 1. 1 times y leaves us with y. Or 1 divided by y divided by 1 would be y either way. And 2 times 4 equals 8. So we get the same value both ways. Let's take and look and see what this would look like as a tape diagram. First, we're going to draw two tapes, one representing each side of the equal sign. And again, the tapes are the same size because both sides of the equal sign represent the same value. One side is y divided by 4. And again, you can write it horizontally or vertically, whichever way suits your boat, floats your boat. And it equals 2. So now we're looking at the fact that we have y divided by 4. So now we have this value of y, and it's divided into 4 pieces. Y divided by 4, y divided by 4. You can put it in each one so that you get the understanding that it's y divided by 4 4 times. So this is y divided by 4. And if we know that each y divided by 4 equals 2, 2, 2, 2, then we have a value of 8. And I believe that's what we had on the first page as well. Here is an exploratory challenge for you and a partner to complete. There is one multiplication and one division problem for each of you to complete. So we're going to count off by fives around the room, and you're going to listen to the directions of the teacher or substitute in order to do this. And ones will get together to do set 1, twos will get together to do set 2, etc. So you're going to get a piece of construction paper, and I want you to solve both problems, both algebraically and with a tape diagram. So if you need to go back in the video and rewind to see how we did both the multiplication and the division tape diagrams, please do that. You and your partner are going to have, or partners, are going to have 10 to 15 minutes to complete this activity. I don't think it'll take you that long, but do a good job. You may use crayons, make it colorful if you'd like, and we're going to then, when you finish this, you're going to pause the tape here so that you can see the problems, but then you're going to finish the other activities in your book on pages 129 and 130. Those you'll do independently. You may choose, or I think the directions tell you how to solve, but you may make a choice.